right, good evening and welcome once again to Newsline. I am Claire Adelabu Abdurasak, your pilot on tonight's journey. Now they say never cast a cloud till May be out. Well, around here we say never leave your seat till Newsline is out. Tonight we're serving the usual tonic, but with fresh flavors, infused with innovation, celebration, cultural pride, and the kind of surprises that make Sunday nights worth every minute. But before I spill too much of the wine, let's link up with Ogochukwuka on our who's got the news steaming hot and ready to pour.
Very well, Claire. Thank you for joining us on the news desk. President Bola Tinubu urges the next generation of Africans in science, technology, education, governance, entrepreneurship, and the arts to boldly contribute to a united, peaceful, and prosperous continent. Speaking as a guest of honor at the 25th anniversary of the Millennium Excellence Prize in Kumasi, Ghana, the president highlighted the importance of collaboration among Africans in shaping their shared destiny. Delivered by the Minister of State, Foreign Affairs, Bianca Ojukwu, his message emphasized the renewed hope agenda aimed at transforming lives, fostering inclusive growth, and positioning Nigeria as a regional leader. Tinubu called on African youths to champion excellence, embrace leadership through service, and invest in their development while promoting cross-border collaboration. He expressed gratitude to His Majesty Otumfuo Osei Tutu II for hosting the event, which has served as a beacon of inspiration since its inception in 1988. President Bola Tinubu joins the family, political associates, and friends of Pa Ruben Famuyide Fasoranti in celebrating his remarkable journey of 99 years on earth. The president describes Pa Fasoranti as one of the rare Nigerians who gave all to public service and served unblemished at every opportunity. His political odyssey, as explained by President Tinubu, is deeply rooted in Yoruba ideals of honor, integrity, and progressivism, noting that Pa Fasoranti has been dependable, graceful, and a model of exemplary leadership, stressing that he is happy that the Afenifere leader is alive to see the work the federal government is doing to revamp the economy and set Nigeria on the path of sustainable economic growth and development, and praised that Nigerians find the courage to do the right things to better the country. In a major boost to primary healthcare delivery, Jigawa State is making significant progress under the World Bank-supported Impact Project. The initiative is driving critical upgrades to providing round-the-clock healthcare services across the state. Mohammed Musa Askira reports as a high-level delegation from Abuja visits Jigawa to assess ongoing developments and implementation milestones.
The World Bank's impact projects led by its technical team leader, Dr. Olorunde, commits a staggering $11 million exclusively to the state. The funding is aimed at upgrading 114 primary healthcare facilities and enhancing service delivery across the state. Dr. Olorunde emphasized the project's mission to double healthcare service delivery, ensuring that qualified health workers are not only present in these facilities, but also accessible to the people.
Target given to Jigawa State for testing for malaria for under 5, IPT use among pregnant women, delivery by skibet attendants, early line use postnatal care. Within the last 3 months, the Jigawa State doubled their number.
As at today, in each of these 12 educationally backward local government, we have nothing less than 10 female students undergoing medical study in most of our training institutions, so that we can produce manpower that will go back and manage primary healthcare centers in those local governments.
To ensure 24-hour service delivery, stakeholders say all primary healthcare facilities across Jigawa, now totaling over 284, have been equipped with solar power, water supply, and other essential infrastructure. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
In line with his vision of empowering and caring for the underprivileged, Nigeria's leading digital communication mobile network provider, Globacom, through the company's Glow Foundation, has again reached out to thousands of selected Lagos residents with loss of giveaway household items. Diana Ajale reports that beneficiaries were basically street sweepers under the Lagos Waste Disposal Management Authority.
This is a day put together for selected street sweepers, drawn from across the metropolis to wine and dine while taking their minds off their regular duties after a long period of hard work. An opportunity the sweepers consider as rare, courtesy Glow Foundation.
I want to appreciate Glow for making me happy today.
Glow give me opportunity to come here today. Make everybody they see me on television. On first day, I go show on television today.
Apart from the special treatment of different cuisines, lucky winners of raffle draw smiled home with various gifts, such as grinding and sewing machines, as well as microwave.
Thank you, Glow. Thank you. God bless you.
Let's celebrate this women.
Head Corporate Social Responsibility, Globacom, speaks about the company's drive that aims to touch the lives of the underprivileged in the society, and the partnership between Glow Foundation and Lagos Waste Disposal Management Authority, LOMA.
It's Mother's Day and 90% of their workforce are women. We have decided to come out as a foundation to recognize, to celebrate these women. Glow has decided to take care of these women today with gifts, with food items, with clothing, with merchandise, and with their PPE. Their PPE are their personal equipment that they will wear on the roads to protect them while they're working.
It shows that Glow Foundation recognizes the importance of the work that our street sweepers are doing on a daily basis. It shows that they're paying attention to the themes agenda of Babajide Sanwo-Olu that puts health and environment at the center of development.
Participants also went home fulfilled as they got Glow Foundation giving back to the society food packs. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
Yes, and they had the opportunity to show on TV. All right, 3 years after its establishment, the Northeastern University, formerly Penn Resource University, Gombe, has become an emerging center of academic excellence. From Gombe, Abbas Meikano reports on how the university attracted the attention of the National Universities Commission.
The Northeastern University Gombe is becoming a household name as it competes favorably with others in the pursuit of academic excellence. With an overall university average score of 91.4% in 2024 NUC accreditation exercise, its programs have excelled across the board. The National Universities Commission has just granted full accreditation of 12 of the university's academic programs, having been satisfied with its performance so far.
I'm not surprised at all that the university is recording one success after the other.
The Northeastern University also appears committed to seeing that 8 more academic programs mature for accreditation by the end of this year, while more are lined up for 2026.
These 8 programs, by December 2025, God on our side, we face a similar accreditations.
Ever since I was young, I've always had a dream of becoming an architect, and I can see the school have enough standard and they are doing all it takes to see that my dream comes true.
Northeastern University is one of the best schools in Northeastern Nigeria. It's an incredible institution.
It was a double celebration for staff as the Pro-Chancellor announced 20% salary increase. In Gombe, Abbas Meikano, NTA News.
And shifting attention to religious matters now, more than 5,500 Nigerian contingents to this year's Hajj have been so far airlifted to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Correspondent Jamilu Ibrahim reports that the pilgrims are now busy with the visitation to holy sites in the city of Medina and its environs.
Medina is the second holiest city in Islam and the first point of call for most pilgrims who visit the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia each year to perform Hajj. Nigerian pilgrims, among other contingents from across the world, have continued to arrive in the sacred city and have been warmly received and accommodated by the Nahakon officials and the hoteliers. having settled down for a while, the more than 5,000 Nigerian pilgrims currently in Medina have embarked on spiritual visitations to some prescribed holy sites within the city and its environs. This is Masjidun Nabawi, the mosque of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, located in Medina. It is the second holiest mosque in Islam. It tops the list of the holy sites that the pilgrims from across the globe visit each year. The sacred sites marked for the visitation in the Grand Mosque of Medina are the Prophet's grave and the graves of his two closest companions, Abu Bakr and Umar, as well as the Baqi'a cemetery, where many other companions of the Prophet and his wives were buried. The pilgrims also visit the revered Mosque of Quba, situated on the outskirts of Medina.
The virtues of this mosque is that prayer in the mosque is having the reward of Umrah. And the next to it is that the mosque was built by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companion, and it is the first mosque built in Islam.
Other sacred places that attract the pilgrims in the holy city of Medina are the mountain where the historic Battle of Uhud took place and the graveyard of the 70 martyrs of the Islamic war located there.
These people sacrifice for Islam, so we should sacrifice for our country.
The pilgrims, most of whom are first-timers, say they are thrilled with the spiritual visitation. Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Pope Leo XIV is calling for an end to war in the world as he greeted crowds from the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica this Sunday. Ekenendule reports that this is his second official public appearance since becoming the leader of the Catholic Church.
The new Pope did not shy from world events in his public address following a prayer to the Virgin Mary, as he cited the recent 80th anniversary of the end of World War II, a conflict which killed 60 million people. As had his predecessor, Pope Francis, he appealed for a genuine, just and lasting peace in Ukraine and said he was deeply saddened by events in the Gaza Strip, calling for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war. Pope Leo's appearance drew tens of thousands of people anxious for a closer look at the modest pontiff, born Robert Francis Prevost, who before becoming pontiff spent much of his life as a missionary in Peru. Before his appearance, Pope Leo XIV celebrated Mass at the altar near the tomb of St. Peter, deep beneath the basilica within the Vatican grottos. Cardinals chose Leo XIV as the 267th Pope at a secret conclave on Thursday, praying he could heal rifts within the Church, renew faith among the world's 1.4 billion Catholics, and address a host of modern-day challenges weighing on the more than 2,000-year-old institution. Cardinals described Pope Leo XIV as in the mold of Pope Francis, with a commitment to the poor and disadvantaged, and a focus on Catholics in far-flung areas away from Rome. Ekene Ndulue, NTA News.
And away from religious matters, in a renewed demonstration of Nigeria's commitment to the fight against human trafficking, 78 victims have been repatriated from Côte d'Ivoire. Their return was facilitated by coordinated efforts of the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs, NAPTIP, and an indigenous airline. Awal Yusuf Jibo reports.
They arrived home from Côte d'Ivoire with quiet relief, carrying the weight of shattered dreams and the hope of a second chance. 78 Nigerian victims of human trafficking rescued after harrowing experiences in their search for a better life.
The young women and girls who have just returned, we say welcome home. You were taken far from the safety and dignity you deserve. But today, you are back on Nigerian soil, and you are not alone.
For these victims, the remorse is overwhelming. Their stories are reminders of the dangers that lie beyond deceptive promises.
The moment I got there, I was now asking her, where is the supermarket that you told me that you are running? She said that is a lie, there is no supermarket, there is prostitution work.
The next day, now take us to one village, say that we are going to be hustling in this village. Now say, which hustle? You promised us that we are going to be selling food in the restaurant. Now say that to make payment, he will call boys to kill us. We now keep quiet.
As plans for their rehabilitation begin, stakeholders are urging relevant agencies to double up on preventive measures and also ensure perpetrators face the full wrath of the law.
We mustn't be waiting for government for everything. So I decided to do that, and we continue to do that, to instill into Nigerians that sense of belonging and pride in their country.
While these 78 victims have made it home, NAPTIP says countless others are still trapped with time running out. In Lagos, Awal Yusuf Jibo, NTA News.
No miracle could rescue one Ihe Sehen Obehi miracle, a woman intercepted by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency while attempting to export 2,523 kilograms of cocaine to Iran. The cocaine was concealed in her stomach and handbag. Here are details of this and several other significant seizures and arrests by NDLEA in recent operations across the country.
Seen on a tip-off, NDLEA operatives at the Port Harcourt International Airport apprehended a female suspect named Miracle, who was wearing a disguise and later discovered to have swallowed 67 pellets of cocaine, with 3 more inserted in her privy parts. In another operation, officers at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos intercepted a 22-year-old British national with 37.60 kilograms of loud, a strong strain of cannabis. The suspect, who had been convicted twice in the UK for drug trafficking and robbery, claimed he was recruited in London to bring the consignment to Nigeria. Officers of the NDLEA also intercepted a fuel truck and 3 more vehicles loaded with 3,047 kilograms of skunk, a strain of cannabis. In Niger State, 4 suspects were arrested in connection with the seizure. Additionally, 775 liters of cocaine syrup were recovered from 2 suspects in Kano, and 505 kilograms of skunk were seized from 2 suspects in Bauchi State. The NDLEA has continued to pursue a balanced approach to drug control, with efforts focused on both supply and demand reduction. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Elder statesman Edwin Kiagbodo Clark is remembered as one of the last Mohicans who navigated Nigeria's complex geopolitical and social terrain with vision and tenacity. As a renowned author and nationalist begins his final journey home, correspondent Ayodeji Makinde captures moments from the service of songs held in his honor.
St. James Church, Asokoro in the Diocese of Abuja, played host to a gathering of dignitaries, mentees, serving and former government officials who came together with the family of Chief Edwin Clark to celebrate a life of purpose and enduring impact. In his exaltation, Reverend Canon Bola Ogunyowo urges all present to reflect on the exemplary life of the late elder statesman who lived with intention and left behind a legacy that continues to inspire.
There is a phrase Pa never missed when we are going. He will say it at the top of his voice. I am a Nigerian. I love Nigeria. Nigeria is my country. I am proud to be a Nigerian. My father's dream of a united Nigeria. We can achieve it, but we have to do it together.
Emotional tributes poured in, cutting across tongues and tribes, reflecting the wide-reaching influence of a man who dedicated his life to national unity and advocacy.
The qualities of Ike Clark are quite unique. Even at the point of death, his memory was social.
He touched every aspect of this country.
He lived in one Nigeria, but every component part must be given a chance to grow at its own pace.
I was guided by many of the pronouncements that came from Clark.
Chief Edwin Kiagbodo Clark, a former federal commissioner for information from 1966 to 1975 and founding leader of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, passed away on February 17 at the age of 97.
And also, the death has occurred of Alhaji Maman Musa in Jos, Plateau State. The 95-year-old who died suddenly has since been buried in accordance with Islamic rites. He is survived by many children, among whom is former First Lady of Nasarawa State, Mairo Tanko Almakura, grandchildren and great-grandchildren. The leaders of Burkina Faso, Palestinian Authority, and Zimbabwe met with Russian leader in Moscow to discuss security cooperations and polls open in Albania for parliamentary elections. Kolo Mohammed brings us details of these stories on Global Update.
Albanians headed to the polls to decide between Prime Minister Edi Rama and a broad determined opposition, an election believed to determine the stance of Albania in relation to its European Union membership ambition. Voters say it's the wish of all Albanians to have an even better, more beautiful country so that their children and grandchildren no longer leave for other countries in search of better life and living conditions. Sali Berisha, Albania's former Prime Minister and President, leader of the right-wing opposition, is hoping to oust Prime Minister Edi Rama. The Socialist Prime Minister Edi Rama says he expects a big victory for his party at the parliamentary election. Rama seeks fourth term as head of government, hoping to stop right-wing veteran Sali Berisha from a return to power. In other news, Russian President Vladimir Putin hosted bilateral talks with leaders of Palestinian Authority, Zimbabwe, and Burkina Faso. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa, and President of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré, arrived in Moscow to take part in celebrations marking the 80th anniversary of the defeat of Nazi Germany in World War II. Speaking at the meeting with Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas, Putin suggested to exchange opinions on what Russia could do, additionally, to help de-escalate tensions in the Middle East. The meeting is coming as leaders of 4 major European countries threatened to racket up pressure on Putin if he does not accept an unconditional 30-day ceasefire in Ukraine that he offered on Saturday in a strong show of unity with Kyiv. Kolo Mohammed, NTA News.
And Bade is live with sports updates. Bade, what's trending?
Many thanks, Ogo. So many things in the world of sports, but let's begin with tennis. Before now, Nigeria Tennis Federation had only 2 white-badged certified referees in the form of Ariola Banire and Henry Oboche, who are all late. However, there is good news as the vacuum has been filled by Joseph Edeli, Beatrice Danjuma and Folashode Ogunshola, who are the latest Africans and Nigerians in particular to back the prestigious certification as the white badge referees by the International Tennis Federation, having excelled at the examination panel. Their success has been described by the president of the Nigeria Tennis Federation, Ifedayo Akindoju, as great achievements which will be impactful to the development of tennis in Nigeria.
Good is a seal of approval for which we are grateful to them.
Then it gives us international leverage. Over the years, we've had to bring in white badge referees from across Africa because that's the closest to Nigeria. And it's a lot of money to accommodate and maintain their visits. But now we have 3. And that means we are also going to be giving out to other African countries. So it's a major milestone and it's such an encouragement.
All right, let's turn our attention to football. We begin from Bayelsa, where the Governor's Cup is ongoing, tagged the Prosperity Cup. And of course, it has been an impressive display of skills and talents as Crusaders FC have been crowned champions of Ekeremo local government area of Bayelsa State after beating Yokobolo FC 1-0 to lift the 2025 Cup. All right, let's go to the Nigeria Premier Football League, where there were fireworks of goals on Sunday in the league as Rivers United were dealt a big blow in their pursuit of Champions League football next season after a stunning 3-1 loss to Kwara United. Meanwhile, Abia Warriors were the major beneficiaries of their slip-off as they beat Okanemi Warriors 2-1 to keep them 1 point behind second-placed Rivers United in the race for Champions League football. At the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium, Bendel Insurance kept their hopes for continental football alive after a vital 2-1 win over Heartland of Owerri, while league champions Remo Stars thrashed Ikorodu City to dent their top 4 hopes. Away from Nigeria to the English Premier League, where the battle for European football is witnessing twists and turns in the league as Arsenal came from 2 goals down to salvage a 2-2 draw with Liverpool despite losing Mikel Merino to a red card in the 79th minute. At St. James's Park, Newcastle United beat 10-man Chelsea 2-0, securing 3rd spot to move them in touching distance of playing in Europe next season. The Blues are now 3 points behind Newcastle with 2 games to go. Elsewhere, Manchester United's Wolves continue in the Premier League as they suffered a 2-0 defeat at home to West Ham United. Amorim made 5 changes with eyes on the Europa League final, which could see Manchester United's season redeemed if they can beat another Premier League side, Tottenham, in the final. Still on football, but in the Spanish La Liga, Barcelona took a huge step towards the league title with a 4-3 comeback win over rivals Real Madrid in a thrilling El Clasico at the Camp Nou. The Catalans are now 7 points clear of Madrid with 3 games to go. Before we go, let's take a look at tennis from the foreign angle, as Ima Raducanu produced a stunning comeback to beat Veronika Kudermetova to set up a 4th round clash with Coco Gauff in the Italian Open. That does it on sports tonight. Let's return to Ogo and, of course, the sports-loving Claire.
All right, Bade, thank you so much for the updates. And I hear Osimhen is already close to winning Turkish Super League. Is that correct?
Yes, very, very close. So 1 game to go for him. It will be, another title on another soil for our very own Victor Osimhen.
Thank you so much, Bade, for the updates. And now a look at the weather prospect for tomorrow, Monday.
So let's take a look at what the weather has in store for us this Monday. We're currently seeing a steady influx of moisture sweeping across the country, stretching all the way up to the far northern regions. This has been fueling thunderstorms activities, particularly across the southern areas and parts of the central states. Southern Nigeria can expect mostly cloudy skies throughout the day, but by late afternoon into evening period, there is a good chance of isolated thunderstorms, especially over parts of Cross River, some parts of Bayelsa, Akwa Ibom, Delta, and Lagos. The inland areas of both the southwest and the southeastern region are also expected to see some thunderstorms. Moving to the central region, we're tracking highly localized thunderstorms likely to be accompanied by strong winds. Areas on alert include the Federal Capital Territory, some parts of Kogi, Nasarawa, Plateau, Benue, Niger, and the southern parts of Taraba and Kaduna states. Up north is a different story. We expect mostly sunny and dry conditions with temperatures soaring. Highs are ranging between 40 to 42 degrees Celsius. So if you're heading outdoors, stay hydrated and protect yourself from the heat. And that's your weather. Join us again.
All right, you just saw the weather for Monday. Next is a break, and then Claire will be back for Newsline proper.